to continue with this, I wanted to start talking about this instead of writing it all out. So I've got this. We know the national average for the SAT. I made this up, though it's probably close to 200. Then I made up that we did a random sample of 50 students who had that average, and we're going to say, does that support the hypothesis that Vermont students do better than average? So that corresponds to that set of hypotheses. Now, what we're doing here, what HO says, is that, okay, we've got this national average of 1526. How much can we expect samples of size 50 to vary? So we know that the standard deviation for the sampling distribution, the standard error, is the standard deviation for the population divided by the square root of the sample size. When I calculate that on my calculator, I get 28.3 if I round. Okay, so now what does that mean? Well, if I go out 2 standard deviations either side of this mean, that should catch 95% of all SAT scores. At least, sorry, should catch 95% of all the sample averages when I sample 50 kids. So if I subtract that standard deviation twice, actually I'm not going to write the -1. That's not what I'm going for. So let's see, 1526 minus 28.3 is 1497.3. I don't know if I need the decimal point. And if I add that up as high as 1554.3. So so here's what HO is saying. If this is the true average for the SAT scores in Vermont, which is the same as the national average, we can expect that 95% of all the samples of size 50 will fall in that range. So if we got a sample of 50 kids that had that high an average, which is way outside this realm, right? 1596 is way up here if we're doing a number line. So it's well out of what we'd expect. So that tells us that the average score in Vermont must be higher than 1526. Okay, because the likelihood of this happening is, well, I don't know what it is, but I know it's pretty small. And in order to do that, I'd have to find the z-score, look that value up on the t-table, or use some kind of calculator to find the chance of getting something this extreme, this far away from that average. Okay, so I hope that helps. The whole sampling distribution idea is a tough one, and it's important. It's the foundation of all this inferential work. So it's saying HO always says this is the center of the distribution, in this case it's for Vermont students. And we've just shown that with these made up numbers that might not be the case. Okay.